YouTube, is Brian Proctor back again with another video. And in the start of this video, I needed some FaceTime, some one-on-one FaceTime with you guys so I can explain what this video is about. And this video is about me stepping back to the beginning, because when I first learned to draw, there was nobody to show me. I had to basically learn for myself. All the techniques that I know, I had to learn for myself. And then as I started drawing and showing people my drawings, there were others that came and asked me, how did I do that? So later in life, I started this YouTube channel to teach people how to draw from using the skills and techniques that I learned to draw. So from doing this channel, I started doing more advanced stuff, advanced positions and drawings and so forth. And I basically kind of forgot why I started this channel, and it was for those who are beginners. So I'm having to step back down with this video and go all the way back to the beginning for those who are beginners, because I've been getting a lot of people that say things like, oh, I wish I could draw like that, and how did you draw like that? So I'm going to show you guys from the beginning, for you guys that are out there that want to learn how to draw but have no one to show them how to draw, no books or videos. This is me showing you guys from the very beginning again. So that's why, and I entitled this video, I want to learn to draw, but there's no one to teach me, or have no one to teach me. I don't know. We'll see it in the end. All right, let's go ahead and get into this video. Okay, let's get right into this. Now, this is a picture that I did for one of my action pose positions of the week videos. And this is the kind of stuff that I have been getting into lately, just a little bit more advanced drawings than those for beginners. And a lot of times beginners will look at these things and they'll try to do that, and they'll try to throw all the muscles in there without knowing where the muscles go. So what I want to do is step back and go from the very beginning, because when you draw a figure, basically it's nothing but a puzzle. And once you learn to put the puzzle together, it becomes easier and easier and easier. The more you put that puzzle together, the easier it becomes. So I want to take the body and have you look at it as a puzzle, and let's put this thing together. Because I know that eventually, if you're doing this, you want to do a comic, because that's what the whole thing is about, doing your own comic book and teaching you the skills to do your own comic book. So, oh wait, did I say comic book? And speaking of comic book, shameless promotion. This is The Trials of the Samurai Clown. This is my flagship comic book. I have like 3 going at the same time, which is too much. So this is the first colored book, first one that is in color that I got. And thanks to my colorist, Walter Reynolds, who did a wonderful job in coloring this thing. It's going to be out now. I'll leave links to where you can pick up the book if you're interested in it, and I will leave you a link to his site where you can see his coloring. The guy's a fantastic color, and he's for hire, of course, because he's an artist. So yeah, I'll leave all that at the end of this video in the description box if you want to find out about this stuff. So yeah, let's get onto this. So if you are going to draw the body, think of the body as a puzzle. Now, these are your puzzle pieces. These are the pieces, the shapes that you need to draw a body. Now, there are 25 shapes here that you need to master, and that is the first part of drawing. As I tell people, learn to do the circle, the square, and the triangle before you get started, before you even try to want to draw. Okay, camera, let's roll. The circle, square, and the triangle. Once you learn to draw those 3 shapes and master those 3 shapes, then you will be ready to draw anything, basically. So if this was an old Kung Fu movie and you came to me for a lesson, I would give you these 3 shapes. I would say, go home and come back when you have mastered those 3 shapes. So that would be the end of the video right there. Once you master doing that, and I can't stress enough, because people look at this and they say, oh, I can draw a square, I can draw a triangle, but you're going to have to be able to take this square, throw it up in the air and let it come down, and be able to draw it, in any angle, direction, shape before you can do that. Because that's the same thing with the body, because each piece is a basic shape. Now, you have these shapes, now you have to put them together. Once you learn to take like this particular shape and draw it upside down or to the left or to the right or whatever, then that makes it a lot easier. But as I say, a lot of people want to skip that step and try to draw something like this, and then you have your one arm is bigger than the other, one leg is off, the head is crooked, the abs, you have too many abs, things like that, because they're looking at the muscle without looking at the shapes that create the muscle. So as I say, that is the most important thing. That is the most boring thing, but is the most important. It's like if you want to drive a car, the first thing you're going to have to do is learn how to start it right, because when I first started a car, I stuck the key in and I turned it, and I held the key, and it just kind of like grinds the motor. You have to turn the key and let it go. Same thing. That's the important part about starting a car. So let's take a look at these shapes, and then we'll go from there. So you can screenshot this or something so that you can understand what you are going to need to do the body. And then I did the little center line. So everything you draw should have a center line through it somewhere, somehow, because it's gonna twist. So you're gonna need to know where the front is when you start to turn your piece. So let's look at it like this. Once you learn how to turn these pieces, they're going to take a different form. Like this one was the head here. So a lot of people have trouble drawing an oval, which, you know, I still do. It's crooked sometimes. So what I use is a rectangle, and then I'll just chop out the little sides that I need. This part too is the neck. That is for the neck. That is just a strange shape. You're like, how is that a neck? But it is for the neck. This, and once you turn that up, it's going to become an oval, basically. Not an oval. It's going to become more of a cylinder with a point on the end. This one is the torso, which is the most important part of the body, other than the face, the expression on the face, and then the hands. This is basically the building block of the body. You have to get this right in order to make the rest look good. So this part would be here. This is your waist here. And this, which is number 4, is basically a rectangle. You turn it over just a little bit, and it becomes basically like a tuna can or a hockey puck or Alexa, if you have an Alexa app. Number 7 is basically, as I call it, the upside down house, because everybody can draw a house, and if you just flip it upside down, and I show this on a number of my videos, it's just an upside down house like that, and that is your hips. So once you start to move that or change that, it looks more like this. Number 5 and 6 are these circles here, and those are your delts. That's the top of your arm right here. And they turn more into almost like a heart shape, or what would that be? More like a kind of a pointing pear. 10 and 11, these would be the top of your arms. Cylinders, once you turn those are cylinders. Or what do we have? 16 and 17 are your legs, same thing, cylinders. And a lot of times people will draw, let me see if I have another drawing that I can throw out real quick. They will, and this is another one of my action pose position drawing, they will have this part of the arm and that part of the arm a different length. Now the same thing with the leg, you have to have this part and this part the same length. So things that you have to realize when you're drawing. So where were we? Oh, the 8 and 9. These are your knees. These are circles that you start out with. And these are the shapes that you start out with before you start to turn them or to twist them. These are your knees. What's 14 and 15? Or your elbows. Same thing, will be circles. So as I said, this is the top part of your leg, the bottom part of your leg. These would be hands. We're not even going to cover hands. I did a video on hands. If you're ready to do hands, go look at the video. And these little simple half triangles here, these are your feet and your shoulders. Same shape, basically same shape, except these are coming more like funnels. So if it's hard to see that, just imagine drawing a triangle, upside down triangle, and then chop it off right there, and then just erase that. And that's basically what these shapes are here. Because your legs are not straight. Your legs have some shape to it. Let's use this one as an example. Your legs are wider at the top, and then it narrows down at the bottom. So basically this would be that funnel that comes down like that. Once you see and you understand the shapes of the body, it becomes real simple. So as I say, you just have to manipulate your shapes to where what? To where they are more shaped like the actual anatomy. Like 14 and 15 would be your knee. 8 and 9 would be your elbows. They're shaped more like this. Your feet would be more of a wedge shape. And just doing that is just, you have your triangle, your half a triangle. You just draw a straight line across, and then down like that. And that would be your foot. You add your leg to that. And then later, once you learn how to manipulate that, you round it off to where it looks more of the shape of a foot, where it is more the shape of your foot, like that. Now, where are we going? I said, as 24 and 25 are your hands, and basically your hands are more square than anything else. So I use the square, but as I said, we're not really going to even jump into that. I put hands there because somebody would say, well, where are the hands? So if you can't draw an arm, there's no way in the world you can draw a hand yet. So 22 and 23 are basically your shoulders, and your shoulders are the same as your feet, except when you start to do it right or do it more as it's supposed to be, it rounds off. And this one is just, so if I had the center line would be like here, and your shoulders are just basically round and round off on top of your shoulder. I guess you could say that. So that's why I have the center lines in these. So whenever you turn them, you will know where your center line is. And as I said, you'd have to be able to take a shape of something. Let's use this Altoid. And this is not, I don't do Altoids. I found this can, and I really like the can, and I have like my little figure hands in it. You should use them for reference. And that's another thing. Always have some type of reference to use to start off with. If you can afford to buy like a toy or something, buy you an action figure. I'm sure a lot of people that might be in the comments have action figures, and those are great for references. Get in there, hon. So, okay, anyway. The hand doesn't want to go in. If you have this shape, let me take this hand out because it's slowing me down. If you have this shape, this rectangle shape, and then you have to turn it slightly, you need to know how to be able to draw it. You'd have, if you saw just a little bit of this side here, and then still say some of that here, you'd have to be able to know how to draw that. For any way that you turn it, you'd have to know how to draw it. And that's the same thing with these shapes. You're going to have to know how to draw, like say this, let's do the hips. So from an upshot, you'd have to know, okay, the top is round, this comes straight down, and this is more of a triangle. So if you were doing an upshot, you have this piece here, and I'll angle this. You have the holes where your legs connect, and then sort of like that. So you'd have to know how, again, how to manipulate all these pieces so that you can start drawing. And again, a lot of people want to draw, jump in and start drawing the muscles, and they have no idea of the shape of the muscles, and they're getting all into it, and it comes out wrong. And something I also say is, when you start to draw, don't start inking. When you're finished, don't start inking. Walk away from your picture and come back later, and then you'll be able to see your mistakes that you made, if any, unless you're just that good that you don't have to walk away, that you don't make mistakes. But always stop for about 20 minutes at least, and then just walk away from your picture, and then come back. And then, as I say, you see mistakes. Because if I drew this picture, this is just a rough sketch. And I was like, oh, I like that. So I inked it, and then I finished, and I'm happy, and I walked away. And I came back like 30 minutes later to look at my picture to enjoy what it looks like. And I'm like, oh man, this arm is so messed up. Then I'm mad. I wasted all that time. I wasted my ink. If I colored it, I wasted my color supplies to color this thing. So before you say I'm finished, walk away from your picture, come back, you'll see something that's wrong. You might not be able to fix it or right away because your eye sees there's something wrong, but your brain doesn't know how to fix it. But that's what these videos are for, to show you guys how to fix stuff. So, or to draw it and be able to fix it. So with that, I'm gonna come back to this. Let's jump on to the next thing. So these are your pieces that you would put together. Your head, your two is your neck. So I know it looked weird before, but as you put them on, you start to understand. As I say, this is all a puzzle. Your delts, which are 5 and 6, your arms, 10 and 11, your top part of your arms, your biceps, which is this, 10 to 11, your elbows, which is going to be 8, 9, your forearms, your hands, which we're not going to do, your number 4, your waist, your hockey puck. And you always have to have a waist, because when I first started drawing, I used to miss this piece. I would go from 3 to 7. I connect 7 to 3, and then my characters were always short, but I couldn't figure it out. As I say, your eyes will see it, but your brain can't figure out what and why is it not right. So the more you put this puzzle together, the easier it becomes. So 17 and 16 are your upper thighs, your legs. And notice that I angled this one because that's something else you're going to have to do, is angle it, whereas this one is straight across. Usually when you have a dummy, a thing, they'll have a circle right here, a ball joint. But in real life, you don't have that little circle ball joint to move your legs. It has to angle up here to connect, because it actually comes up into this like that. So all this is your leg. So again, you have your circles for your knees, which will be more of a diamond shape like this. This one is turned. That's why you have the center line. You always have your center line. Even through your legs, a lot of people have trouble drawing their legs. Keep a center line through that, and then you'll know, okay, my knee is here. Let me get up pen real quick. You say, this is the center line. My knee is here. Which goes down, which makes my calf come over here. But always have that center line. And then your feet, which are that diamond, you will turn that into more of that wedge, like piece of cake or door jam wedge or a slice of cake kind of shape. And I showed you how to do that already. So once you understand where the puzzle pieces go, you can take them, turn them upside down, twist them to the right, twist them to the left, look at it from downwards. Once you do that, then you're ready to do this. And as I said, if I was like a Kung Fu master and you wanted to learn the martial arts, at this point, again, I would say, stop, go home, come back to me when you have mastered these shapes. Now, a lot of times books, and this is what used to piss me off when I was young, you'd buy a drawing book and then they'll give you the stick figure. They'll have like this, and then they'll have, and this is how they say start out with the little skeleton. Maybe a ball here, ball there, or a joint, should I say, there. And then in the book, they'll have this, then they'll go from this, and then they'll go from that to that. And I'm like, how in the world did you get, I can kind of see this and that, but how did you get from this to that? And then the next picture, the guy's dressed with clothes and a face and his weapons, and he's colored. And I'm thinking, come on now. And that's why I hated the fact that there were no real books out there to teach you how to draw. So you've come to the right channel. If you're watching this video, you will be all right. So after you learn these puzzle pieces, and after you are able to manipulate the shapes that best suit the actual shape of the anatomy, then you can put it together and you can draw that. But as I say, you have to be able to turn these things upside down, inside out, around and around. And then in time, you'll be able to do more. What is this? I'm looking. I got my old Wolverine detailed stuff like that. And this was I want to draw that picture series thing that I'm doing, where I teach you how to look at something and draw it exactly. Because that's something else a lot of young artists, I don't want to say young as in you're like 8 or 9 or whatever, you're young or new to doing art. You say to yourself, I want to draw, I like to draw, but I have nobody to teach me. So that's something that we want to do as artists. We always see a picture and we want to draw it, but as I say, you don't understand the shapes, You don't understand how the muscle fits. You don't understand how, when I bend an arm up, if I bend this arm up, what does the muscle, what shape does the muscle take? And like in your forearm, there are two bones that go across. I would switch and show you the dummy thing. And when you twist your arm across, one bone comes in front of the other. I don't know if you can see that little lump. That is because one bone here, it actually twists over. There's a bone here and there's a bone here. And my camera's too close. So there's a bone here and there's a bone here. Now when you twist your arm over, if you can see that little ridge, you can feel it. That bone actually twists over and it gives your arm a definite different shape to it. So things like that you'll have to learn. So number one, the puzzle piece. Number one, stop trying to draw and add muscles. Don't even think about trying to add your abs and so forth. Just draw your basic like this. Now, when I first started out, like if I want to do a quick body, I would do this. That's a quick body for me, especially if I'm doing comics and I'm not trying to really do the anatomy yet. I'll do a quick person like this, and maybe there's somebody in the background, and I'll use like squares like that. So which arm would come down? This arm would come down. This arm would go back here, and then you have the head. And then from there, I would start breaking it down. I would add my shapes that I need. Center line, direct action line. This is my tuna can or hockey puck. This is my upside down house. And you already got the legs there. You just have to make them a little longer or a little fatter or a little thinner. My top half of my leg, my upper thigh, the lower leg, the calf. And it becomes easy. It's just, you just have to do it. That's all. Your delts, your bicep. And that's why I always name them, so that eventually you'll understand what this part is becoming. And when you become a doctor, you can have me to thank for it. And this is your forearm and your hand. So basically, the only thing I did with this little rectangle is that I just brought it in like that. So if you did a rectangle, you just bring it in at the waist, and then still you're closer to your goal. And another thing about shoulders, I was tutoring one guy online now, and I told him that his shoulders looked like they were upside down. Now, when you have your collarbone, this is basically for you, but it's also for him as well. You have your collarbone, which goes into your delts. Let me get a darker something. You have your collarbone, it goes into your delts, which comes out to the chest, your arms. So now your neck, this little dip here, this is that triangle piece. Where's my other drawing? This is this little triangle piece right here that comes up, and then your neck, and then there's your head. Now, as you see, this is flat. You just put that little triangle on there, on top of that, and there's your shoulders. Make this head a little bigger. So that's what this part is, the triangle is. I want to make sure you guys can still see this. But it's just, instead of being flat, it's rounded here. And if you lean forward more, the shoulders basically go around your back. So that's all you need, but you don't have to try to draw the extra muscles that are in here. Not yet, not until you figure it all out or know what you're doing. Then put the muscles in. Then I'll say to a lot of students, don't try to do that. Don't, because everybody wants to do abs. If you just do your upside down U, which is this right here, this is a V because I pointed it out, I made it a point. And then a center line down, a line that comes here and a line that comes there. That is like your inner or outer edge of your stomach. And then you have your love handles like that. That's good enough. You don't have to put, especially if you don't know, you have like 50, 60 abs because you think it's cool, but it's wrong. I mean, if that was some type of uniform and this was like metal plating, yeah, that's cool. But If he has no shirt on, then that's not, everybody are like, what's wrong with their stomach? They'll know something's wrong. They might not be able to say. And then you have your ribs. Don't worry about your ribs yet until you get your shape right. So, on that note, okay, back to this. As I say, if you have some type of a doll or toy or action figure, it's best to use that as a reference. Now, I have collected so many figures because I always wanted to. I enjoyed playing with action figures when I was young, and I started collecting them. So what? So with this, well, let me show you this. This is one of the old figures. Let me zoom out. I know my camera will be happy that I am zooming out. Okay, so this is an old action figure. I would say it's a G.I. Joe. It's an old action figure. I don't know whether, I think the hands are in that Altoid case and the head is sitting over here. But if you look at that, it's basically the same thing. This would represent your little tuna can. Of course, you have your hips, which, as I say, when you turn it over, it's going to be more like this. This one's more higher up, so they can stick the legs in there. Your legs are even. Your arms, this part of your arm and this part of your arm is even. So if you're drawing this one longer than this one, then you're wrong. If you walk away from your picture and you say something's wrong with the arms, just understand these two pieces have to be even with the delt. So it's best to just draw the whole arm like this, the whole top arm, your elbow, and your bottom arm, bottom part of the arm like that, and then do your delt like that. Or just do that circle like that. Now, most times it's easy to do that, but a lot of people will think that this is separate from that, but it's not, because your arm is basically just kind of like tucked under that, just kind of goes over over this part of the arm, and this part of the arm is like kind of tucked under here. Then you have your elbow, then you have your other part of your arm. So just know that if one part is too long, like the same with this, if one is longer than the other, then something's wrong. But these are great for reference because, as I said, you have to be able to see this or see all those shapes, particular shapes, from every angle imaginable if you're going to do, your comic book. And I think that's the goal for everybody that wants to do anatomy, or most everybody, is to do a comic book. What does that look like upside down? Suppose he was flying. He just started to fly up in the air. And the scene called for him to be able to fly up into the air. How would that look if you didn't know how to turn one of your shapes up and draw it from an up angle? Or the next shot would be him, and it's hard to look at my monitor and look at the camera and focus on the camera at the same time. He had to fly up at you at an angle like that. So you're going to have to know how to manipulate. So if this was the torso, let's just say this is the torso. This is a torso. This is the torso, like this, straight on, and then you have your collarbone, your delts here. So this thing is going to fly up, and you're certainly going to see it from the top view. And this is where your neck goes, right here in this little hole. So to do that, you have to take this neck and move it down. So the neck would be here. The collarbone would be here, and it goes into a V because of that shape. And then your delts are right there. Your chest comes around. You'd lose some of this. You would lose this portion down here because your chest would cover most of it. You might see some of the crotch. It depends on the angle, your leg, your knee, the other part of your leg, and then your foot, like that. And this is more standing, because flying is, the legs would be more together, kind of like this. And it's a weird kind of a flight. And then the head would be looking up, and then you would have your hands somewhere around here, and then you would do, what do you call that? Foreshortening to do the hands, however the hands are going to be, however you would position the hands. But you would have to know again, what these shapes look like when you twist and turn them. So if you can't really do that, then you have to start from the beginning. And that is why I'm doing this thing. So look at your body as a puzzle. And then start putting these pieces together. Once you have them together and you can turn them, twist them, bend them, however, then you're ready to do shape more of the muscle. As I said, get something that's good, because this is pretty fairly good with the shapes of the muscles. But, you know, we're not built like this. This is why they have more advanced, I don't want to say toys, more like this. This is excellent, but if you are a beginner, do not buy this. Buy you a cheap Wolverine or Batman or something. I'm trying to look around my room to see what I have, and then go from there. As you start to advance, then you want to get something like this, because it is great for exactness in shape to a degree, because the chest, you know, this, but I mean, it's joints, it's not real skin. But for the most part, this is a wonderful reference tool. So as I said, if you're in the beginning stages, if you're at this point here, don't try to get something like this. Not yet. I think this is like $110. You might be able to find it on eBay cheaper. But as I say, this will just confuse you if you don't understand how to connect the dots, basically. So let me do a quick drawing, and I think I've drawn enough in my other videos that you guys don't need it. But because I'm an artist and I'm a teacher, let me just draw real quick and step by step. Remember, there's 25 pieces. So your first step is focus. Whenever you're ready. All right, so your first step in drawing your character, your male or female or whatever character. And the reason somebody asked me, why don't I do more females? And I'm waiting for the camera again. Okay, so as I said, the reason why I don't do a lot of females is because YouTube has this thing about tripping all the time. So my videos go out to, or anybody's available to look at YouTube. So if you're a child, or if you're underage, let's put it that way. If you're underage and I'm drawing the female anatomy, and you always draw the anatomy without clothes, and the child sees that and the parent sees it, and then they'll get all up in arms about, oh, this guy's drawing whatever, naked women, pornography, whatever on, and I don't want my child to look at it, and it's on your YouTube. So then YouTube will flag you and they don't monitorize you and you don't get paid for your work, even though it's not really about the money, it's about teaching people to draw. But yeah, I want to get paid. So that's one reason why I don't do women, but I'm going to start doing more women. I'm going to try to find out how to figure out how to draw it. Focus, camera. With, focus on the pencil. Without somebody seeing it and saying, oh, that's, you know, not appropriate for children, and that's YouTube's thing. So yeah. Anyway, what was I going to say? I was going to draw, I think it was something else I wanted to show you before I yes, no. Well, let me show you this while I got your attention before you turn the channel and look at something else. This is another one. This is the Figma figure. This thing is just as expensive as the big one. This is pretty good because it's closer to the anatomy than this is, because you have your knee. I like the foot because it's more of a shoe, and then you can actually bend the toe up like that. So it has more, thank you, joints in it than this thing does. And you don't have, like I said, you don't have that ball, you don't have that missing piece here. It's very detailed for a small figure. So yeah, but as I say, this is something else that's expensive. But it does help when you're beginning. So, and remember your center line. So let's just do a figure real quick. And these are the steps that I do when I do my figure. As I say in a lot of my videos, and people check out my video, they'll go to my home page channel, and something is just up with this camera. Focus. They'll look at the one video, and that's one of the most popular, one of the most viewed videos that I have is the one drawing the male figure made simple. I believe that's what it's called. But they won't go into the channel, shall we say, and check out my other videos. And I have a lot of videos on just doing hands and faces and shoulders and stuff like that. And I want to put a link that won't take you to the home page, but it'll take you directly to the video. So please, at the end of this, check out that link, and it'll show you the 100+ videos that I've done on trying to draw and helping do comics and so forth. As I say, people will watch that one video and then they will focus on the pencil, and then they will watch that and they'll comment. They'll always leave a good comment, because I've had so many people say things like, I have seen so many other channels that didn't teach me anything. I'm trying to give this camera something to focus on because it's just white. And then I came and I saw your thing and I was able to draw it. So I thank you for all those people who see that. But as I say, go into the actual channel, go deep into it, and you'll see the 100+ videos that I've done on drawing. So with this, let's do this. Mark out your border, just like you do in a comic. You don't want your picture to come out any further. First thing you do is the torso, because that is the mainstay there. People do the head and then the feet comes off the page. And I'm not going to complain because I've done that sometimes. So then I want to do my direction line. Do I want to do it? No, let's do this guy at an angle just because. So then I want to do my U. So this is number, let me get these things out here so you guys can see what I'm doing. If you can see what I'm doing. So this is number 3 right here. This is the third one. This is my torso here. This is where my stomach is going to go. My abs are going to go up in here. So you're going to put your circle here. This is where your neck is going to go, on that center line here. Your collarbone comes right just below that. If you want to put a point, a triangle to that and curve it around, you can, but that's your collarbone. Second thing I'll do is my delts, like that, which is just your circles, and that is number 5 and 6. Then I will do my arms however I want to put my arms. That would be number 10 and 11. Then I'm going to drop down here, and this is my hockey puck tuna can. Then after that, I want to put my upside down house. And remember, the center line here. Now, if I wanted to twist it, I could, but it'll come out weird. I don't want to twist the leg really. So bring it down. This is the point of the roof of the house here. Then I want to add this one leg, the top of the upper thigh. And that could be square, but I usually round it off. It's just a habit for me. And you want to stop, and you want to make sure it's not too short, not too long. Like this waist, that could be shorter. He's just a tall person. Same thing with this one. Let's see how I want to do this. Maybe bring his leg back. I don't know. I should spread them apart. I don't know. It could be like he's jumping for joy or something. Then you could put the ball here. You don't have to, but just know that the other part of the arm comes there. And this is kind of foreshortening instead of making it just that cylinder. So let's do the other one here. So let's put the end of that one here and the other end here, like that. Let's just do this. This is just going to be a weird position. I don't know. I'm just drawing right now. So I'll put my knee here, and most times I will use the circle or that diamond, and then just below that, I'll do the other part of my leg here. And remember, that leg narrows like that. So it's going to be here. Actually, it's going to kind of cone out like this because your calf is the fattest part down here, and then it comes out. But just for the sake of it, in the beginning, do this, do that. Like that, and then I'll do this, and I'll take this knee, and then I'll put this up like that. And this is just manipulating, again, it's manipulating, manipulating what? Manipulating something. I'm tired and I'm hungry. I haven't eaten yet, and it's like probably like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So yeah, back to reality. So the foot, as I said, will come out like a triangle, like this, and then wedge it like that. Same thing with this one. And this is a weird position, but I'm not trying to do an action position. I'm just trying to show you what you have to do when you draw these shapes. Again, half triangle, wedge it like that. We're not even going to mess with the hands. I'm just going to do a circle here and a circle there. And as I said, it's square. Usually it's square is better. Let's just say if I did a square here and I put fingers here, and these are like stick fingers, which is what I tell people to do in the beginning with hands, and then your palm, and let's say I'm going to put my thumb right here. Like that. It starts out with a square. It's just easier to start out with a square. And then from here, that diamond, your neck comes up, and then you don't have to, but you can, but wherever that stops, that's usually where your chin is going to be. But I'll bring it down a little bit, and here's your oval, egg shape. And another thing, if you're trying to draw a superhero, if you draw the head, let's say this is my head, make the neck, these are the sides of my head, make the neck come out just as wide as the head, and that gives you a muscular looking person. If you're not trying to draw a muscular looking person, then bring the neck in more like that. That's just something that one of the guys that I was helping did, and I ended up, and I plan on telling him that, just pointing out little things, because as I say, I help people online. A lot of times people will write into me and ask me for help, and I'll say, send me what you have. Let me see your skill level. So they'll send it, and then I'll make corrections, and I'll email it back to them. And then we'll just go back and forth like that for a time until I either get too busy that I can't help, or I'm out of town, or or that person no longer needs help. So yeah, this is just something that I do. Little tips like that. So these are the pieces of the puzzle that you put together. And then, as I said, once you learn to put these pieces of the puzzle together, then you start to draw the muscle, how the muscle is shaped. And as I said, because that bone turns, you have that line that goes across here, the bone in that hand. Same thing, your bicep, your tricep is back here. Your delt separates the two because there is a muscle between the two. So you have a muscle here, a muscle in the center, and a muscle in the back. A lot of people don't realize that, but you do. And then that separates there. So I'm not going to just draw this whole guy out because it's 42 minutes into this video, but just drawing the shapes over and over and over, and being able to twist them and manipulate them to where you can draw it from any angle, then putting it together, then finding out what the muscle actually is shaped like. Then at that point will you start to be able to do something like, where did it go? Where did it go? Something like this, or this. Now, putting clothes on a character is a whole different thing, or that. And these are just, now I'm showing off because these are just other videos that I did, you know, or that. So drawing is simple. Puzzle. Each piece is a different piece. Each body piece is a different piece of the puzzle. How is it shaped? Where does it go? What does it look like when it's twisted and it's bent? First step, get your pieces together. Second step, start drawing your pieces from different angles. As I say, if you have a toy, if you have a figure, start drawing that figure. Don't just draw it straight up and down. Look at it from angles, and then learn how to draw it. Check out my videos. I have videos on foreshortening. So you like, how can I draw this leg? It looks so weird. I have videos on foreshortenings, for hands, for faces, for the torso, for the back. I have a lot of videos, but I say people don't go into my channel deep enough to see. So as I said, I'm going to leave the link to where you can go directly to all of my videos. I'm going to leave the link to Walter Reynolds' site because he's a good colorist. He helped me out because if you're going to do a book about the circus and a clown, then you need full color. So this was the first book, number 5, that I did full color. The rest of them will be full color. As long as Walter wants to work for me, with me, then they'll all be color out. But I'll leave a link to his site where you can see him. You can talk to him if you have something that you want colored. And I will also leave a link to, well, if you're going into my channel, you have the links to everything. So other than that, the books will be like a buy on demand. This particular one, anyway, this particular issue. I'll leave the links to the first 4 where you can buy them. There's a site where you can buy them. So I'll leave a bunch of links at the end of this video if you are interested and you want to go and you want to check out more of my work. So yeah, 45 to 23 seconds into the video. I think that'll be it. Hopefully you guys got something out of this because, as I said, I wanted to go right back to the beginning. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. This is about as far back as you can get. So maybe later on I'll take one piece at a time and I'll turn it and draw it the way it's supposed to look from different angles. But until then, I will call this video quits and I will see you guys in the next video. All right. Thanks for being there, and all you people that have subscribed. I really, really want to thank you. I'm seeing more and more subscribers every day. I'm happy about that because that tells me what I'm teaching is not only being liked, but it's working. So thanks again. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out. 2, 1. YouTubers, Brian Proctor back again with another video. And before I start this video, I need to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. YouTubers, Brian Proctor. No, start again. Look excited. My face looks so dry and tired. I look so tired.